Hello guys, how we doing? Marcel too wants to be a star as well. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good Christmas, hope you're having a good day. As you can see from the title, we are doing questions and answers. With that, I'm trying to introduce more myself to the new audience and obviously explain overall what's happening in this channel. So first of all, as you can see, it's different environment because most of you, the guys who are from very beginning, probably seen every single episode, every single video in dirty garage clothing, hands-on spanners and all the rest of the stuff. But this is where all the magic happens. This is my home office. As you can see, screens at the back. This is like, but to be honest, this office itself is probably my missus' home because she does all the filming, she does all the editing, and she loves it. Basically what happened was, as you can see, all the pandemic started first. That was like over a year ago. After a couple of months she got redundant, and we decided, you know what, focus more on that YouTube, see how it goes. And because she loved it, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna invest in equipment and see where it takes us, you know. And so far so good. I really appreciate that you are with me. I really appreciate positive feedback. And basically in this video I just wanted to tell everything from very beginning, why it's called 777 Garage, why I'm into old school Beamers, or like overall where everything started. So let's start with why it's called the 777 Garage. As you all saw, I got this black BMW 740. This is the reason why I am here, like why I have maybe so many BMWs, if that makes sense. Basically what happened was, probably more than 10 years ago, I had this black 728. I love the car. That was my first E38 BMW, and black with the champagne leather, individual, blah blah blah. I absolutely adore the car. At the time I think I was 20 years old. Yeah, and basically I bought it off a mate who probably had it for maybe just a couple of months, lost his license, drink and drive, and afterwards I've decided, you know what, he's selling the car, I'm 100% buying it. And at the time I bought it basically from him on finance. And so yeah, I got a car, long story short, someone crashed into it. And after that the car wasn't the same anymore. And basically what happened was I sold the car on. I was struggling financially, and I thought, you know what, I'll come back one day, but I'll come back in a V8 or V12. It must have a sunroof and must be black and facelift. That's all. I had only three criteria if I'm buying another E38. And like maybe a couple months or a year or so, I bought this black 740 for, guess how much? 600 pounds. I bought it with this damaged timing chain, guys. At the time I didn't know these engines at all. Like, I only started to introduce myself to them, and yeah, basically I thought, you know what, I must have this. This is what I want. And obviously I bought it, and after that, I think at the same time, me and my mate were starting to rent a unit out, tinkering with some cars. That's basically why we rented the unit, and we didn't know where it's gonna take us. But as long as we have got a unit, we can think everything afterwards. And yeah, I bought that black 740, and guess what? I just wanted that. Originally had a beige interior, nothing special. Yeah, it was a couple options here and there, but nowhere near as it is now. So what happened was, then many years ago, no one was actually interested in themselves. They all were scrap. They were like, you could pick them up left and right for about more or less £500. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna keep buying whole cars and just take whatever I need, put into my, strip the rest of it, maybe sell a couple, sell the parts, get my money back, and that's it, move on. And this slowly turned into like, well, I would just keep on buying stuff. Like I seen, oh, I need rear blinds. I bought a whole car, took my blinds, sell the car, or like sell the rest of the parts, scrap the car. That's it, and just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going like that. And basically, that's how hobby turned into more or less business, if that makes sense. But I was doing still that, stripping BMWs, working on BMWs on the side, and I was working permanently at Ford dealership commercials. I was fixing transits, believe it or not. Yes, Ford transits, like that was in 2016, 17, 18 maybe. No, I think up to 17, 15, 16, like 3 years I was working dealership. And basically after permanent job, I was going to my unit, just tinkering around the BMWs, just doing what I love more than actually working full time at Ford's. So and then yeah, basically one day I had enough. Couldn't stand the management, and I thought, you know what, I'm leaving the Ford and focusing full time what I'm doing as a hobby. And I think it was in 2018-ish. Yeah. I focused basically full time in the unit, still tinkering with BMWs, doing my own thing, and then just keep on buying them sevens and messing about with the sevens. That's why people probably know me more or less from forums, because I literally bought them and scrapped them maybe 100-ish over the years. I'm talking about nearly 8, 9, nearly 10 years. I literally lost the count how many I bought, how many I scrapped. And 2019, I think, yeah, you seen my 740 interview. Basically, the car was more or less finished, but didn't have the swap, 4.6 swap still, like, because I always was changing my mind, what I wanted, what I didn't want it at the time. So many of you seen my interview on a hand-built cars channel, regards to my 740 and myself, like story itself. And after that we had a chat, blah blah blah, like my mate was pushing, like telling me, why don't you do YouTube yourself? I was like, don't really have a time, don't really, not really interested, shy of the camera and stuff like that. And I thought, and he basically showed himself what he does and blah blah blah. And he said, just give it a try, see what you think. You know, maybe it'll give more business, more job to your business, if that makes sense. But I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try. And I was slowly making some random DIY videos, like here and there, nothing special. Some problems with my E60 M5 at the time, and yeah, this is like, I think it was 2019, 2020, more or less. Yeah, late 2019. And yeah, and basically, why the 777 garage? I was like, okay, let's do that. Let's do the channel. So how the channel will be called? Okay, I was thinking like, okay, I'm doing loads of stuff in the garage. Okay, if garage, I'm thinking with sevens. I said, what about? And I had this. I think already I had the number plate on my 740. I thought, you know, why don't I call it 777 garage? Because I'm thinking with sevens, I'm more or less known because of 7 series itself, and that's why I called it 777 garage. There is no other explanation. I was thinking with sevens, and I thought, you know what, I'll call it 777 garage. That's how the channel was born. Anyway, let's focus on your questions. So let's start with Instagram questions. Basically, we'll try to answer the ones in Instagram first, and then the ones on YouTube. So McDonald 5047 asks, "Hi Ed, can you fix my Alpina B12 number 111? I bought ABS module from yourself, but problem not solved." I think we spoke about it, but we didn't came to conclusion. But as you see, this time of the year is winter, and I know your car is in storage. So yes, I am indeed interested of fixing your car, because as you know, I know all the background story regards to your car, and I would be 100% interested in fixing your car, because I'm sure many of my audience would like to be more, would like basically see the car itself, because come on, let's admit, not every day you can see Alpine on the road. So we're definitely gonna arrange that probably in springtime. If you're interested, hit me up. So BLK5 asks, are you considering project besides BMW, something like old S-Class Coupe or Audi Quattro? I'm not sure about the project itself, but I'm more maybe interested in owning the car. I'm really into, well, I can't say I'm really into, but lately my interest really picks up on old Mercs. Not really about Audis, generally not Audi fan at all. Yeah, I do love old UR, S2s, you name it, you know. But for some reason, just my heart doesn't go there, to be honest. Old school Beamers, old school Mercs, yes, but maybe something else. Maybe some JDM stuff. But Audis, don't think so, sorry. Regards to project, if something comes along, literally I'm not probably specifically gonna look for one because I'm busy already, but if something comes into my lap accidentally, then yeah, I would consider something else as a project if it's not massively rotten out. Okay, AR46BM, when you put a turbo on your drift car, if you mean supercharger, which one I bought over a year ago, I probably not gonna, well, I think in one of my videos I told already, I'm not installing supercharger. Well, after actually I crashed it, I thought, you know what, I'll practice a bit more and build in the same time another drift car with the supercharger, because the plan was 4.6 bottom end, M60 heads and supercharger on top. That's the plan. Obviously I'll have a different chassis for it, but just seeing my project, my current situation with other projects, I thought, you know, I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I got literally all the parts, I got all the chassis itself, like it just need my hands to do it, but I genuinely don't know when, to be honest. Hopefully maybe next summer, but there is more other stuff to come. But priority at the moment is Alpina B12 and 8 series and one of the customers 8 series project. So once them more or less done, then I can focus on something else, because all that drifting stuff is just for fun, get away, just enjoy myself. As you can see, I'm not really doing it professionally. Okay, Availo 2711, what are your plans for the Alpine after restoration? Keep it or sell it? You see, I don't know myself. Like, I don't know how much I'm gonna spend it. As you know, I have problems with that bloody engine. Current plan is finish it apart from the engine, see how it turns out. If it more or less turns out mint, that's the actually plan, then I'll see. But I probably not, I don't know, like I probably will not gonna sell it straight away, because I genuinely want to enjoy the car, because I never ever came across such a big project, and it's not literally just days, weeks or months. It probably will take me a year or so. Well, hopefully by the summer it's more or less done, but I don't know. Currently stuck with it, but as you know, it's currently at the body shop. Regards, either sell it or keep it. I'll keep it for a while, definitely. So why always me 91? Where are you from? As you can tell from my accent, I'm not well, I live in UK. Originally I'm from Latvia, been here in since 2009. I came here, just after the secondary. I finished, well, I only finished 11 grades. 11 grades finished back in Latvia, came in here in summer and I've stayed. That was like 11 years ago. And to be honest, at the time, well, in the situation I am now, I'm not looking back at all. Like, I'm regretting only thing that when I came here, when you are younger, you don't really think forwards. You just like, I was working in like a factory for a while, maybe a year or so, and as soon as you receive the wage, you spend the wage. That's how like I spent pretty much my early 20s, if that makes sense. And I think I've changed one of the basically changed the factory to a warehouse, and I was pushing this trolley around the warehouse and I was thinking, what the hell I want from my life. And one day it just clicked in my mind, you know what, I'm gonna sign up for college. So I've done 3 years in college doing studying basically mechanics, and that's how more or less picked up with them doing cars and stuff. So it's crazy how your life sometimes turns upside down, because originally when I was a kid I thought I'll be a police officer, but for some reason now I'm thinking, why the hell I thought about it, like. And for some reason cars is my passion. That's what I love. My missus supports that. She loves it as well, since she started all the filming and doing editing on the garage stuff, and since she actually passed the license. So I'm really happy where I am now. So but yeah, originally I come from Latvia. Now you all know. Artyom GA, how and when did you start working on BMWs? Well, as I said, it just picked up slowly through the years, because my first car was, my actually first car was a Rover 618. That was in 2009. At the time I was 19. And then I had, believe it or not, Audi A6 2.8, 98. I love the car, but I always wanted the E38 since I was a kid, and as soon as I picked up that, I could say my life changed over the years dramatically. Because when I was owning my first and second car, I didn't even know how the engine worked for some reason, and it just slowly picked up through. That was years ago. I'm talking about, like, slowly picked up through the YouTube, because at the time YouTube was just getting started, but there was already videos how the engine works or whatever. But if you're interested in some stuff that you don't know, if you got a passion for it, then eventually gonna come back to it, and you'll just love it whatever you do, and you'll understand how the stuff works. And slowly through the years, because I was more or less interested in that stuff, it just picked up itself. So Ion Caramafilo asks, what are your top 5 dream cars to own? I can say, I'm not sure do I have dream cars. Actually I have one. Believe it or not, I'm a massive fan, but I'm never gonna own it, because it's that's crazy price stage where it is now. I don't think I'll be able to catch up. That is Nissan GT-R R34. When I saw it in second Too Fast Too Furious, I thought, bloody hell, I love the car, and I thought one day I'll own it. But recent following for them, and market is absolutely through the roof. And I thought probably I don't know what should change to actually own that car. So that's one of that's one of my dream cars. But overall, I'm happy what I have at the moment. All them 8 Series, 7 Series, and some other stuff. I love it. So I love cars which I can afford and which I can more or less keep up with them, let's say maintenance wise. And I'm not really dreaming about any supercars, or because that's not my league, and I'm sure, well, never say never, but I'm sure I'm probably not going to be able to afford them in future, but we'll see. So next question is Retro Classica. When can I get my E30? Up to you. Well, if you give me a direct call, you got my number, Walter. We can arrange something, probably spring-ish, maybe in a couple of months. We can, depends how much work it needs, but I'm sure, because the car was more or less clean, so I'm sure you don't need a lot of work. But yeah, give me a ring. So, what else we got? Let's start with YouTube comments. Daniel Hoffman. What are your plans with the garage? Renovation, expansion, or leave it as it is? What are the plans with the whole 753 cars you have? Do you want to collect in fun, or would you like to narrow it and have a focus? That's actually a very good question. I'll tell you why. Well, basically that garage, the unit you see me working in, that's obviously rented. I've been there 5 years, more than 5 years in it, and I potentially might need to move out in 6 months. Well, we don't know yet, I'm not saying anything, but potentially might need to move out because landlord either is selling the whole place up, or the council is shutting the whole place down, because that meant to be agricultural place, but it's not agricultural place for past 15 years. So we don't know what's gonna happen there. Ideally, if it's that case that I need to move out, my plan is to get my own unit, potentially try to somehow buy it, but we will see. If in that case, if that comes to it, I'll probably sell most of my cars and then get as much as funds together to get the unit. Otherwise, I have nowhere else to go, but nowhere else to work. And yeah, that's the sad story about it. So I generally don't know where it's gonna end up, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's be alright, because I'm not ready yet to move. And being a rented place, I don't really want to invest a lot. I mean, if that would be my own place, you would see it completely differently. But being a rented unit and uncertainty, I think, I don't know, like that's why I'm not investing in it. But as you saw, I already made the office like very similar to this. Made the office from my own funds, because, for example, if the customers comes down, I don't know, from London, instead of walking around the yard, nowhere to sit down, I made the office to them for myself, and it's nice, clean environment in the unit. So basically, we will live and see what's gonna happen in the next couple of months. So the tough cookie, Ed. Does the name come from Edward? When you will build a diesel tuning engine, would be interested to see. Regards from snowy Finland. No, Ed comes from Edwin. Sorry, Ed comes from Edwin. Yeah, actually my name is Edwins, but in short term you can call me Ed. That's what everyone, or Eddie, or that's how people call me, and that's just much easier. Regards to build a diesel tuning engine, I'm not sure. The only diesel I have is my Expire Workhorse. I'm not planning to do nothing about it because that's literally done like 300,000 miles, and it runs great. The diesel engines have a loads of potential, but for some reason I just didn't came across to work on them. But maybe somehow in future I'll do it. But something, because I have one M57 engine laying around complete. I was thinking maybe stick to something different, but so far I don't know into what. It just sits in a corner, but it definitely would be in some other classic BMW. So maybe one day. Derek Orberg. Thoughts on building Team 7 Series, Gangster, Street Racer, Pimp, etc. Not really, to be honest. I really appreciate OEM plus style. That means maybe a couple more options, but that kind of stuff, not really. And to be honest, the place where I live, because it's always only in summer you have a nice couple shiny days, but always wet, miserable, and for some reason stuff like that I only see in Florida or California. I'm talking about states. In here it's like there's bumpy roads, you can't even slam the car, and I think it's not for me. It's genuinely not my style, to be honest. How did you get into BMW, be a BMW specialist? That comes from Kingsley Domfeld. As I said, it just everything came with experience, if that makes sense. If you got common sense and you love what you're doing, then you're always going to be good at it. It's not only BMW 7 Series I'm doing. I've done like M cars, I've done you name it, obviously diesel versions of the BMW engines, done what else I've done, and obviously I've done other brands, but I've since I went full time doing what I do, I only focused on BMWs because I thought, you know what, why should I focus, why do something else if I just clearly love only BMWs. So you know what, I promised myself I'm not working on any other brand unless it's just the suspension or some of the servicing stuff, but mainly just Beamers. And I said it just overall came with experience over the years. Lewis, best E38 to daily. Daily, I think 730D. That's like, because as you know in the UK we didn't have the some diesel versions of E38s, and I think the 730D M57 engine is the best daily to have. Richard, are you originally from Latvia? Yes, I am, as you told. The Polish Ninja. What was your first BMW? As I said, my first BMW was 728, which someone crashed into it, and then I have my other 740, which obviously you all know. The Trusted Metal. What got you into BMWs? What got me in BMWs? I don't know. Like maybe when I was a kid working in a car wash, I see the E38 rolled in, and I just, for some reason, at the time I was like, this is the car I can afford, and I loved it. For some reason I just love the quality. I'm not talking about new cars, but it's the simplicity of all the stuff, how they built it, you know, like let's say you take apart Audi engine wiring loop. It's such an awkward clips to take them off, like where BMW connectors are like simple, you push them together and it pops off. But let's say Audi VAC stuff, You need to put the screwdriver in, pull it like sideways or upwards, and then it comes off. It's like, why? Like, if you could just like squeeze with your fingers and pull it off nice and easy. Why would complicate life? Where BMW was like, I don't know, I found them much simpler and easier to work on. Like, there is no rocket science whatsoever. It's just very basic, normal engineering. Theodore Koller, how many cars do you have? To be honest, it's a tough question, because if we're talking about my very personal cars, which I tend to keep and not to sell on or whatever, well, let's start to count. My BMW 740 with the 4.6 now, yellow E31, E60 M5, E46 M3, E53 X5, my workhorse. What else? E34, E23. What else? Another 750 38. Another 750 38 left-hand drive. These are the one I want to keep. What else? Something else I had. Oh, the E36 drift car. Alpina B12, which is obviously not done yet. So yeah, guys, this was questions and answers regards me, the garage, the cars, and everything around them. What's the deal around the 777 garage? Why it's called the 777 garage, and so on. Hopefully this video made more sense about everything, because I never actually introduced myself, what's behind the scenes, like who I am, why it started like that, or what's overall going on. And with this video, hopefully made all the picture more clearer. So the goal regards to YouTube and overall is probably just to work on projects itself rather than just customers, because at the moment it's like that. I start the project, find a bit of a spare time, work on the project, but suddenly, you know, end of the day you need to pay the bills, blah blah blah. I'm focusing more on the customer cars rather than projects, and I can't make any content for you, or can't make any video itself. That's why I was like, you know, I'll post maybe in a week or two or whatever. But if you support the channel, if you like the content itself, you're free to sign up for Patreon. That means you can do small donation like £3 in a month, which like nothing, but overall it adds up, and then I can afford to work on the projects full time and bring the content out more often. And other thing is to give back. I probably could answer more automotive questions. Maybe you have suggestions yourself, what, because I want to give back to you. Like, if you are a Patreon, or let's say you want to support the channel, I want to give back. Maybe you have, I don't know, you want to do, and let's say you're local to Lincolnshire or whatever, or you don't mind driving up into Unit. Maybe you just want to do, let's say, service your car. That if you're not far based, you can come down. I will service your car, or something like that, to give back, instead of you just donating a couple quid a month just to watch me. But in the same time, I just want to give back. Maybe answer just automotive questions, or somehow to help you out, basically. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully everything was picture was clearer, and if you like that kind of video, leave the comments below, and maybe once a year or once in a half year or a couple of months. We're gonna do another questions and answers and see how it goes. Thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Peace.